probably not lost on you that all 3 games were decided by a single run. It truly did come down to one play probably every single game that decided the outcome. When you think back, I'm not going to ask you to name just one play, but was there a moment, a turning point, even an inning that you thought ultimately decided this one for your team?
I would say definitely when we had bases loaded and Matthews skied one. And I think it was Ben Hance ran back on it. I mean, super tough play because center fielder was playing really deep. And it ended up falling in, and that ended up being the difference. But there were times, especially late in the game, we had chances to add on. Brody Chismar was up, bases loaded, and lined out to center. Really good swing there, but it felt like we were just barely missing a chance to bust it open. And I was a little worried, but Sam Hochard's been our guy all year. Can't say enough good things about that kid, and he really stepped up and shut it out for us there at the end.
It was a crazy series in the sense that all 3 games were obviously extremely close, but they were all completely different. We had a slugfest where the pitching and defense really struggled in Game 1. Pitching and defense were incredible last night, and there was only 3 combined runs. And tonight it was a little bit more in the middle. I think probably the pitching was good.
Yeah.
The defense was pretty good. The offense was, I would say, average. So we saw 3 different styles of games.
Yeah, that first game, the first game was almost kind of like Teen League baseball. Scrappy. We're making mistakes, but you're hitting the ball hard on the ground, and teams make mistakes when that happens. Then the second game, that's more kind of our identity, and it's kind of Bardine's identity too, with the good pitching, the good defense, and just a couple timely hits, which we didn't have in that second game. We didn't have any timely hits, and that was pretty much the difference. But today's game was pretty much what St. Joe's and Bardini's are, and it's 2 very talented, very well-coached teams. And I can't say enough good things about Bardini's too. I have so much respect for their coaching staff, for Griffin. And those kids, they are scrappy kids, and they have a lot of kids coming back next year, so I'm sure they'll be right here again with us next year.
2 things, Ray. What was your message to the team after the game last night? After a close loss.
Yeah, well, I told them the good news is we all get to come back tomorrow and play another game. Despite losing a really tight game, a lot of the kids were devastated. Honestly, they were crushed because they really thought we were going to finish that day, and it was we were just so close, just couldn't find a way to get that timely hit to win the game. And I told them, keep your heads up, come ready to play tomorrow. And the biggest thing I told them, and we did it today, was we need to get a lead. We need to get a lead in that first inning. I told Brody and Robert Viznik, I said, you guys got to get on base, be spark plugs for this team, and then we'll follow you after that. And that's exactly what happened. And then, Sam came in to close it out for us.
Yeah, he did an extremely, very fine job in relief. The moment was not too big for him, as we talked about a little bit earlier with him. What was kind of the talk to the team before the game today then?
Before the game today, I kind of told the kids, sit back and enjoy this, because there's 8 other teams that are at home that they wish they would be in your shoes.
Sure.
I get that there's pressure, but I said, let's play with energy. Don't play nervous. Play with energy. Make them make a couple mistakes. Hit the ball hard. And I also reminded them, think about. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
You're good.
I reminded them, all the way back in January and February when we were having practices up at the FO Eagles. I said, just think about how far we've come this season. All those practices before the season, then during the season, going through, what did we play, about 31 games total. I just said, sit back and enjoy this. No matter what happens, I'm still proud of all you guys.
Sure. Very good.
So I know you keep close tabs on all the stats all season long, things of that nature. Obviously, the Bardini's won last year.
Yes.
Do you know the last time the St. Joe's won?
I do not, but I think Roger does. I think it's been at least 10 years.
It could be 23 years.
2011.
2011. I know I was part of the 2000 team. I have to be part of the 2011 team as well.
Yeah, right.
But, because we were around a while, and I just want to give a shout-out now, as this is coming to a conclusion, to the wonderful man you replaced, Ed Schmidt.
Absolutely.
He's dealing with some health issues right now. Ed, we wish you well
100%.
in all that you will have ahead of you.
Yes.
Ray, has carried on a fine legacy.
Final thing for you. This is obviously a great feeling. When you think back down the road, what are you most going to remember about this year's team that won the championship?
Well, a lot of the kids that are 15, the past 2 years, we have won a game 1, and we've kind of blown a game 2, and then we lose game 3. And it's almost been like a monkey on our back. We just can't get it off. We can't win that game 2, can't win that game 3. And, I mean, what I'm going to remember is just the older kids stepping up so big in that game. And you could just tell they wanted it. It was a different feeling. Especially, I told the kids, today when I was just sitting there at work, I felt different. I didn't feel nervous. I felt anxious, just to get to the game. But I felt like we were going to win this thing. I really did.
I thought you had, a lot of good kids on your roster. But if I had to pick, in my humble opinion, an unsung hero, I think Joey Bonomo's come a long way in a baseball uniform.
Absolutely. I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but he was one of the last picks of the draft when he was 13. He came up. He hadn't played a lot of baseball when he was a 13-year-old, but he stuck it out with us. He kept coming. He kept getting better. And when late in his 13-year-old season, I kind of saw this kid's going to be a decent outfielder, I think. When he turned 14, he turned into a very solid outfielder. And then when he turned 15 is when he really started to turn it on with the hitting.
He seems so comfortable in right field.
That's his spot. A lot of people say, especially like in Little League, that they say, the worst kid's in right field. No. The kid I'm most confident in the outfield is in right field.
Roberto Clemente played right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Ray, once again, congratulations on a great season and obviously on winning this championship. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, Ray Levay, the manager
Good job,
for the St. Joe's Owls.